You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hey, Brooksie here, the Irish Insider for the 7 and a Hook Podcast. Hey, hope everybody's having a great Sunday. It is NFL Sunday. Listen, we're gonna have a couple episodes today. This episode, we're gonna focus on the early games, all those 1 p.m. Eastern starts. Later today, come back and join us. We're gonna break down all the late games, those 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., the Sunday night game, the Monday night. We're gonna have all the late games, including Monday night as a bonus. But this episode, we're going to focus on the early games. Listen, I hope everybody's had a great season so far. It's going to be super busy here at 7 and a Hook the next couple of weeks. Why? Not only do we have the NFL going on, we got what? College football bowl season. That's right. Next week, it gets underway. It seems like there's a bowl game every day. There's a lot of homework going on here at 7 and a Hook. Listen, don't forget those lower bowl games. And what I mean by that is, yeah, okay, we got the college football playoffs coming, right? You've got Georgia and you've got Ohio State. Right now, that line is set at -6.5. Georgia's favorite. Who do you got? Who don't you got? Well, we got plenty of time to break that game down. And don't forget the other playoff matchup, the Michigan Wolverines taking on TCU. Michigan is favored in that game by 7 and a Hook right now. You like that game? You like TCU? You like Michigan? Again, we got plenty of time to break it down. But again, don't forget, yeah, those are the big games, but don't forget those lower bowl games. And listen, last year, if you were tuning in to 7 and a Hook last year, you made money. That's right, because we do our homework here. We look at every game. Again, we're going to try to break down every single bowl game. We want to give you good picks so you can go cash some ticks. Because listen, watching the games is great. Watching the games and making money is even greater. But anyways, all right, so we got plenty of time to get to the bowl games next week. But today, we're going to focus on the early games here on this episode. So without further ado, let's get rolling. Okay, here we go. First game up on the board, the New York Jets on the road travel to take on the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 10 in this matchup. Points total set at 43. Jets 7-5 overall this season, 4-2 on the road. The Bills 9-3 overall, 4-1 at home. These two teams met about a month ago, and Buffalo won that game. They traveled down and they played the Jets, and they won that game 20-17. The Bills right now, they're on a 3-game win streak. The Jets are coming off a road loss to Minnesota. Tough rivalry game here. Both teams playing pretty decent football. Yeah, I mean, the Jets, their quarterback situation. But White behind center, he's a serviceable guy. And I actually like the Jets in this spot here. I'm going to take the 10. I think they're going to keep the game close. And as far as the points total, yeah, we're going to go over. I think there's going to be some hucking and chucking today in this matchup. So I'm going to go over 43 in this game. Next game on the board with the Cleveland Browns on the road, travel to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals are favored by 5 in this game. Points total set at 46 and a hook. The Browns, 5-7 overall. They're 2-4 on the road. The Bengals, 8-4 overall, 4-1 at home. The Browns, well, they're on a 2-game win streak. The Bengals on a 4-game win streak. One of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. I got suspended for 12 games, 13 games, whatever it was. Deshaun Watson, for his alleged inappropriate behavior, got his debut last week against the Houston Texans. Now, they won that game. Not impressive, but they won the game. And Deshaun was not impressive at all, but in sense he was 12 for 22, 130 yards passing, no touchdowns, and 1 pick. Part of that is also the coach's decision. And what I mean by that, I think it was kind of more of a preseason game, considering he hadn't played all year. So, I don't put a lot of stock into that game. I think this game against Cincinnati they're going to open the playbook, as I like to say. And I think you're going to see just Deshaun Watson play like Deshaun Watson can. So this is a rivalry matchup again, in-state rivalry. I'm going to take the points here. I know the Bengals have been hot, but the Bengals and Browns, that's usually a pretty good fight, so to speak. So I'm going to take the 5 points here with the Browns. And as far as the points total, yeah, again, I think you're going to see some hucking and chucking, and we're going to go over the 46 and a hook here, 46 and a half. All right, next game up. Houston Texans on the road travel to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 17 and a half. 17 and a hook. Wow, that's a big number. Points total set at 44 and a hook. Texans, 1 win, 10 losses, one tie so far this season, and they're 1-5 on the road. Cowboys 9-3 overall. They're 6-1 at home. Texans 7 straight losses. Cowboys, on the other hand, they're on a 3-game win streak. Matter of fact, last week they put up 54 points. Wow, it's a lot of points in the NFL. Quarterback situation for the Texans. David Mills, who was their star at the beginning of the season, lost his job. Well, he's got it back now after about 2 or 3 weeks of sitting on a bench. So he's back. Again, serviceable guy. I like him as a quarterback. Not an elite quarterback, but he's a decent NFL quarterback. And again, he's on the Texans. So let's cut him a little bit of slack. Now, I think what Mr. Mills is going to do today, a lot of, is going to hand the ball off. Or he's going to do some short passes to Dameon Pierce, his running back. Really, that's their only bright spot this year so far for Houston, is him. He's got 861 yards rushing, and that leads all rookies in the NFL. So look for the Texans to run the ball a lot, slow the game down, limit the amount of time Dallas is on offense, and because of that, I'm going to take the 17 and a half. I'm taking the 17 and a hook points with Houston. As far as the points total set at 44 and a hook, yeah, I think this is going to be a slower game. I'm going to go under the 44 and a hook. All right, next game up on the early card, we have the Minnesota Vikings on the road travel to take on the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions are favored by 2 and a hook. 2.5. No, I didn't misspeak. The Lions are favored in this game by 2.5 points. Points total set at 51 and a hook. And why am I joking about the Lions? Well, the Lions usually aren't favored. I think in the last 40 games, I think this is the 3rd time they've been favored. But I don't hate the Lions. Those that tune into the show know that we bet the Lions a lot as underdogs this season and last season, and we made some money because they don't always win, but they keep the game close. The Vikings this year, 10-2 overall, having a really, really good season. They're 4-1 on the road. Lions 5-7 overall, and they are 3-4 at home. Vikings 2-game winning streak. The Lions are coming off a blowout win against Jacksonville last week. They put up 40 points and they limited Jacksonville to only 14. Okay, these teams met earlier this season. It was week 3, I believe, and Minnesota won that game 28-24. Listen, as I said, I do like betting Detroit, but I like betting Detroit as an underdog. Not a big fan of betting them as a favorite. So I'm actually going to take the points here with the visiting Vikings. So give me the 2.5 hook points. And as far as the points total, yeah, I'm going to look under. I'm going to go under the 51.5. And I know that people out there, wait a minute, they score points, they let up points. Yeah, but this is, I think you're going to see some defense step up here. So we're going to under the 51.5. All right, next game up on the board, Jacksonville Jaguars on the road travel to take on the Tennessee Titans. Titans favored by 3 in this game. Points total set at 41 and a hook. Jacksonville 4-8 overall. They're 1-5 on the road. 1-5 on the road. Oof. Tennessee 7-5 overall, and they are 3-2 at home. Both teams are coming off embarrassing losses. As I mentioned earlier, Jacksonville got stomped by Detroit last week, 40-14, and then the Titans, they took on the Philadelphia Eagles and got walloped, 35-14. As far as this matchup goes, very, very one-sided, lopsided, whatever you want to look at it in terms of history. Last 10 times these teams have met, Titans have won 9. Okay, last 5, Titans have won 5 straight. Okay, so the Titans have the Jacksonville Jaguars numbered. Both quarterbacks are a little bit banged up in this game for both teams, Tannehill and Lawrence. Because of that, I think you're going to see a lot of ground and pound. Both teams, I think for Titans anyways, you're going to see Derrick Henry, and a little side of Derrick Henry. So I like the Titans in this spot. I'm going to lay the 3. I know they haven't been playing great football, but I still like the Titans at home here. Again, Derrick Henry, he can run wild, and I think he's going to do that today. Fires the points total set at 41 and a hook. Yeah, we're going to go under 41 and a hook in this matchup. All right, next game. 2 games left on the early card. We got the Philadelphia Eagles on the road, travel to take on the New York Giants. Okay, Eagles favored by 7 and a hook. That's right, 7 and a hook in this matchup. Points total set at 44 and a hook. Okay, so Eagles, pretty good season so far, right? 11 and 1. 11 and 1 on the season so far. 5 and 0 on the road. Haven't lost on the road. Good job, Eagles. Giants, 7, 4 and 1 on the season. They're 4, 2 and 1 at home. Okay, Eagles, they're on a 3-game winning streak. Giants last week tied. I hate ties in the NFL, but they tied Washington 20-20, and prior to that, they had lost 2 straight. So 3 weeks of not so great football for New York. Okay. Really think this is one of those must-win games for the Giants. I really do. If they want to have any say in their division and making the playoffs, excuse me, they need to win this game. They need to tell the Eagles, no, you're not running away with this division. We're going to keep this close. I think the home crowd is going to be rocking today in New York. I think the Giants are going to go to Saquon Barkley a lot. He's having a phenomenal season. I look for him to have a pretty big day here against Philadelphia. So, and again, that's going to slow down the pace of who? The Eagles. Keep the Eagles offense off the field. All right, I like the Giants. Give me the 7 and a hook. And as far as the points total, yeah, we're going to go under. I think we're going to go under the points in this game. All right, last game on the early card here. We have the Baltimore Ravens on the road, travel to take on the Pittsburg Steelers. Steelers are favored by 2 in this matchup. Points total set at 36 and a hook. Okay, Ravens 8 and 4 overall. They're 4 and 2 on the road. Steelers 5 and 7 overall. They're 2 and 3 at home. No Lamar Jackson for the Ravens today. So we got Tyler Huntley is going to get his 2nd consecutive start. Last week, pulled out a victory with him behind center, 10-9 versus Denver. Kenny Pickett, rookie quarterback, he gets I think it's his 9th start of the season today. Pittsburgh's on a 2-game win streak, but those 2 games, it was against the Colts and against the Falcons, 2 really terrible teams. I think Baltimore is going to keep this game close. I don't like seeing Pittsburgh favored. I thought this game should have probably been more of a pick'em, but again, the book says, well, Lamar Jackson's not playing. It counts for a couple points, but Tyler Huntley's a pretty good quarterback. He doesn't do any stupid things. So, listen, I'm going to take the 2 points here. The visiting Ravens +2, and as far as the points total, yeah, we're going to go over 36 and a half. 36 and a hook is not a lot of points. Weather looks okay. So I think you're going to see some points in this game. So, anyways, there's your plays. There's your picks. Take those picks and go cash some ticks. Anyways, enjoy the games. We'll be back later with a second episode for the later games. But, as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.